the money, you follow the voice, you follow the feeling, you follow. But like when I start to speak, I always miss it because I am so, it's coming out so fast. And if I don't catch it and write it down, I am going to lose it. Or it's just like I really feel like I need to hire somebody. I wish I had the money because I wish I wasn't so poor. I'd be able to do so much more and help so much more in ways that are so quick. And I am just poor. I just have no money. I don't have the means and I don't have the ways. Only these committees have means and ways committees. But they have no commitments. And I have a commitment. And like it's really hard for me to even try to take a step into the commitment. I don't care how or what end I come out on because I know everything's going to be okay. That's how much I believe. That I don't even need to believe. That's how much I know it's going to be okay because this is what I'm trying to show for other people. Not for myself and not because of myself. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
It's awesome that all this shit is adding up the way that it is because it didn't start hitting me as my grandfather was calling me root into a reason as to why he was. He died when I was 11. I never thought any more about it as to the whole root thing until I was with Butch. And I was with him in my 20s, in my early 30s. And that's when I had the epiphany. Like, oh my goodness, something else is going on here. Because, like, I literally started to get familiarities happening. And then my look transformed, my demeanor changed, my eyes were like more clear. I was starting to like see in a different kind of dimension with my eyes and stuff. Like still today, I'm still that way, but something became different for me, and like Butch noticed it right away. My family, they didn't notice shit. I was so different, and like they tried to make me still so awful, so awful, and the mistake that they wanted me to become and be, and like I'm not that, and drugs doesn't make anybody that. And anyway, a drug is a drug is a drug is a drug, so it doesn't make one tree better than another or less than another because it's got more branches. But as long as you're doing the harm to yourself and not another, you know, I don't think that it should matter for anybody's nose to be stuck up and even have any say. But I was belittled and battered for those things, and therefore when you're stuck in the ground and beat down so much, you don't think you got a leg to stand on, you know.
Yeah.
But then you start to become also a follower. You're scared to speak. You lose your voice. You lose your confidence. You lose everything about yourself, and you become lost. And then you're just looking for an acceptance. Somebody that can accept you, that'll love you, or that you can love back, or even not love, but just listen to you, or whatever the case may be. But then you start to find out that that's not even good for you, because sometimes that'll drag you down. And what you need to do is get yourself up before you can actually tag along. In order to tag along, you got to be strong enough to hold on, because you don't know what another person's life's got going on in theirs. So that's why an individuality is so important, and we've lost that. We've lost touch with that. We're not in tune to it no more. We keep our eyes looking down and engaged into another person's lives through a television screen more so than actually engaging and picking up the phone and saying, how you doing today? Can I come over and have some coffee with you? You're quicker to fucking put something up on their screen than you can go into their front door and say, hello, hey, how are ya? Or fuck you and take a shit and die. You know, just like my aunt does when she hides behind all of her fucking evil,
bullshit ass messages,
vindictive messages and threats.
She's some shit.
You know, people have become shit because they're sleeping with shit and they're not recognizing the shit, awesome shit that they are. Like, this mental health has been dragged into our communities as if it's a fucking religion, and it's not a good one. It's like a disease factor that is almost as bad as this COVID's being made out to be. You would think somebody you're walking up to has fucking leprosy and you don't want to be next to them or near them because, oh my God, you got COVID and COVID is the influenza. And you definitely don't want to be near those influencers because you know what they're going to do is give you the influenza. Like, they're not going to give you any answers. They're going to beat around the bush. You know, it's amazing to me that nobody is seeing clearly the devil right there in disguise, guys. Guise. However you want to spell the damn thing. Sonsun. It doesn't matter how it's risen, female, male, whatever the vessel is, the vessel. But it does matter about the choices that you make and the directions that you go and where you put things, you know. So some things are due to remain private property, personalized. But one thing is guaranteed is life, liberty, and our property. Life, liberty, and our property. And, you know, they don't even talk about property anymore because that's one thing they don't want us to have. They've taken it all. They're trying to take it some more. They've been working at this for 50 years. They already ruined the dinosaurs and the giants and the ages of that. Why? You can't have something on such a soft piece of rock. A rock that you can actually open or that whelps and cries with tears and water. It's a living thing. Like, it's there. It's part of life. That's the only thing that's going through an evolution, through a change.
Yeah,
We're not changing, and we definitely have not gone from a monkey to a human, and still monkey have a monkey at that. Like, nobody, where is the logic at?
Don't nobody use common sense.
It's that nobody can think for themselves because they must follow along with another voice instead of having your own. You will get a lot further when you go and say, you know what, I am today. That's right, I am. And I'm going to use my voice to tell the world exactly what and who I am. Because I matter. You matter. We are all dark matter.
Oh shit, we dark matter.
We are all dark matter. We are all living matter with some dark lives, some dark secrets, some darkness. It doesn't matter because it's ours, and it's ours to keep, it's ours to hide, but it's ours to let loose through the tongue to only one person, and that's space. It's not even a person. You can call it a persona. You can identify with the space around you and speak it. It'll relieve so much because of the power of the word is amazing. But you know, when you start to change things and you start to create a ripple effect, it can become damaging. Because some things, when you hear it and you're not meant to do it and you still go against it and you do it and you know what you're doing is wrong, it's already out there.
It all depends on what kind of ripple effect you starting though.
Exactly.
Because you can start a positive ripple effect like me and you did. We stopped smoking all that salt shit, and then look, everybody we know just stopped smoking it.
It's always going to be a ripple effect, just like the water, you know, the tides and all. Like I was saying, when they talk about the flood and Moses and Noah, all of those people were real. All of those people existed. Something went wrong, though, along the lines, and it's actually really big in the romantics.
They started to give people power.
Something happens along the line of the family line, though.
Started giving people power over other people. Once you started doing that.
But I'm saying for all of their covering up.
Power.
They created the power so much so high so, that they literally believe in a pope while telling you not to believe in idols. Like, nobody questions any of this stuff. Nobody is asked to themselves, what in the world is going on? What do any of this mean? And what it means is, stop on Facebook, stop engaging in another person's life, don't be so scared to ask Google or Siri or Alexa or Ronald McDonald, whoever you can make your computer, whatever question, ask it, research it, and don't just look at the first page. Because then somebody can't be like, can't believe everything in it says. Well, I'd rather believe that internet before I believe somebody else. And who's been told telephone 2,000 times over, and now it's telling me this story. So who knows how many details they got wrong in between the storytellings. I'd rather find out on a page and another page and another page and another page, and as many pages that Google can tell me, and as much information that I can compile together to come to my own conclusion. And therefore, when somebody want to ask you or badger you or berate you and call you a liar, you can say, oh yeah, well here it is. I don't gotta be a liar. I don't gotta hide nothing, because everything is right here to delve into and to find out. And you can't believe everything on the internet, you're right. But that's why you come with discernment. That's why you come with an intuition. And you just keep on following it, and it can't lead you astray. But when you start questioning it, it'll leave you. It'll guide you. You will confuse you. And then the jinn sets in. Then you got a big old mess on your hands, or a problem, or a big confusion, and a big wraparound lost on the interstate highway somewhere, and can't figure out that you gotta get off the next exit because you got off the wrong one. Like, stop right in traffic. Panicked, freaked, because you're too scared to open.
Right.
You're too scared. It's too much for you. Why? It's too fearful for you. Why? Because you gotta die? Like, how many deaths have most people have gone through? I've just gone through my first ones really at an age to understand, and like 4 back to back. Like, that's a tragedy. That's pretty devastating, but you can't let it get you down, because like, with death comes a rebirth, and decay doesn't have to be an ugly thing.
Exactly.
Decay is something that actually breaks down and creates a new life, and sets in a mist. It's like a condensation.
And it also feeds those that don't nobody want to feed.
But nevertheless, I believe fully in the color and the colorfulness of the spirit itself, because the light spectrum is what ultimately electrifies and stimulates our movements, or animates and keeps us working, But what's really sad is that we've been working for the wrong one. The wrong thing, the wrong entity, the wrong facility, the wrong institution, the wrong employer, the wrong contractor, the wrong every boss that want to be a boss. He ain't the boss. And people are trying to be boss too much these days. People really need to learn how to humble themselves. Need to really learn how to humble themselves. You never know. Everything could be taken away just as quick as it was for Moses that day. If he never listened and didn't build that ark, can you imagine? Something was telling that man and eating at that man enough so that it's true enough that an ark was built. Like, supposedly, that's truth. That's facts. We can look at documentaries and see that they showed us the ship. They tell us the story. And even though, yeah, some things aren't cracked up to what it all is supposed to be in the Bible, that still can be put together enough content it has, and enough content you can get that's not included and ordered if you want to seek that much, in which you should, to find out the answers. Like, just as I'm doing, I'm not piecing it together myself. I'm being led by a force that is telling me my story, while I just pick up the remnants and the pieces and put it up on the wall, and then be guided by the roadmap of my intuitional all. My all. I'm finding out my roots and why my grandfather called me Root, after all these years. Never thought about it anymore when I was 11 and he passed away. And when it clicked, it's like, you know what? There's something more to me. There's something more to me in my story because of the way that I was raised. Much different than my cousins and my aunts and my other aunts and my uncle. But my mama, she was a free-spirited soul. She just didn't know how to speak and use her voice, which is why I am so passionate about words and what you speak and say. And like Butch, who passed away on his way to pick me up on the day before my son's birthday, he says that words are just words, and I would get so mad. Oh my God, I hated when he said that, because words aren't just words, and especially to me. And like he knew, to me, words weren't just words, so stop saying that to me. But words aren't supposed to be just as words, but they are. And that's sad that it's like that. But there's so much wordplay at play here. So much. That words are just words these days and don't come with the right meaning, or come with too many meanings and too many words that are spelled the same or spelled differently, that mean the same or mean differently. And it's just a much of confusing of a word. It's a scrambler. You got earth, and then you got the heart of earth, the core, the inside. Like, you know, there's just so much more. And the people need to get their faith and their heart back a little bit. And come knocking on the door and seek. Get on your knees and stop feeling like you're above somebody. That you can't get your knees dirty, but your shoes, your brand new shoes, you good, going paying $500 for something on your feet that's going to get more dirtier, more quicker than your knees. People will bow to their boss before they will literally bow beside their bed, and that's sad. They'll do for everybody else and not do for themselves. But then when it comes to doing for those that actually need the needing to be done for, they don't want anything to do with them because they're scared they're going to catch something. They look too bad. They don't want to be seen with them. It's going to ruin their reputation. Like, the fuck? Why all the hypercries? Why all the hypocrisies and sissies?
And sissies.
Like, people getting all stuck up in their feelings, wrapped up in another person's who's having their feelings, and can't even sympathize or empathize with another person unless they get permission from their friend or somebody who they're acting different in front of, and that wouldn't even dare act that way if they walked by you the next day without them. People are vindictive. People literally have the evil in them just as much as they have the good. But that's when it boils down to the choice. It all comes down to the choice. To that ice cube in water. You're going to put it in water, or you're going to stand in the fire. If I had some money to pay somebody to record me all day, man, I would be flourishing with my monies right now. But you know what I would do with my monies? Because I know how to be happy and to live and to not have. And it's not just because of my homeless situation. It's because I've always had nothing. And, like, I'm used to it. But, like, I'm kind of ready to have something now. But even though in my life I've always ever just done for other people and really just hurt myself more along the way, I would actually for once want to really do something for myself. And what I would like to do for myself to make me happy is to make other people happy, to give other people things, and to see that on their face, and to see them experience that, and to feel that, because that is the ultimate. That's cool. That right there makes me happy. When I would engage with my children, that made my whole day. That was everything. It's all that mattered. I agree that there's somebody that is out there for somebody. It might not be like all fantasize why, like, oh, you are my dream guy or my dream gal, but it takes work in order for that to become that dream gal and dream girl. That fantasy land and that fantasy relationship doesn't happen until the end of the story, and then you know that they lived happily ever after. It takes time to build and build and build. And Biden talking about a rebuild. Well, I guess he was back in the 1800s with me. Talking about rebuild back better. When did he ever build back in the first place? Built a massive flood, I bet. From all them dams and shit piles. And otters and shit. What am I smoking?